Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel, and yet again another review. As you can tell, I'm not in my usual location, and that is because right now I am at the New York Film Festival seeing a couple movies, and I've been having a great time so far just seeing those films at the festival and also all the other plethora of movies coming out this weekend. But I knew I had to get on here and do one TIFF review at least because I'm so behind. And today I'm going to be talking about Dead Man's Wire, the latest from Gus Van Sant, starring Bill Skarsgård, Darce, Montgomery, Colman, Domingo, Myha'la, Cary Elwes, John Robinson, and Al Pacino. And this follows the kidnapping of an executive by Tony Kuritzis in the early 1970s, and kind of the whole procedure that went into this hostage situation and the contraption that he put on his neck, which is where the title of the movie comes from. Now, I have a lot to say about this movie, and I have a very interesting story, in fact, because I happened to get the chance to know the writer of this movie, Austin Kolodny, an up-and-coming writer in the industry. And as much as it is great to see Gus Van Sant back behind the camera, I don't think that happens without Kolodny's script, which is just so sharp, so funny all the way through. I mean, I was laughing so hard at a majority of this film, and it's so concise with the details of what happened in this specific event, but also how he dramatizes it for the big screen. It definitely comes off very well. You could tell it's very well researched, and I really do think, outside of Bill Skarsgård himself, that is the star of the film. But let's talk about Bill Skarsgård, because I really think that this might be his best performance. I think Bill Skarsgård is one of those guys, you really understand like he's going to play some kooky character, but I feel like he never gets typecast, because in the roles that he plays, he's always doing something different, and I feel the same way about him in this. He's so erratic, so surprisingly funny, and like the most bizarre moments, but also really intimidating and fierce. Like, this is such a tour de force performance, and I'd love to see him get some recognition for it, because I really do think Bill Skarsgård is one of those actors who everybody, of course, loves and appreciates, but doesn't really get the level of recognition, in regards to the accolades I think he should. Not that that's all that matters or anything, but I really do think that this guy might give a career best performance here. He's just firing off on all cylinders every time he's on screen. And I also really like Darce Montgomery, who's kind of his equal in every way in this movie, because it's really a two-hander between them for a lot of it. And you get some really, really surprising moments with his character that I really wasn't expecting at all. And you kind of get the sense that he's more than just like this trust fund executive guy, who's passed down from his father. There is a lot more going on to that character, and the interplay between the two of them causes for, I think, the best moments of the movie. But let's talk about some of the other cast members here. Colman Domingo, oh my goodness, he has like the sexiest voice on radio. It is so amazing, his presence in this movie. He just oozes charisma when you hear him come on the airwaves in this film, and how that eventually ties into the whole hostage situation. He gets some of the best one-liners in this movie as well, and of course he's terrific in everything that he's in, and this is no exception. And then, of course, you have the legendary Al Pacino, maybe the greatest actor of all time in this movie, in a very brief role, but a very, very memorable one at that. And this is like, well, I mean, I don't want to say it's the most detestable I've ever seen Pacino. I mean, you've seen the Godfather movies, right? But he really does make an impact when he is on screen with the limited time that he has. And another thing that really is going for this movie is the soundtrack. This is one of the most banging soundtracks I've heard in such a long time. My goodness, this might be the soundtrack of the year. And that's crazy to say, because there's been so many awesome needle drops in like one battle after another. But this really, that mid-70s, early 70s soundtrack just permeating this whole film. And I think it plays so perfectly into Colman Domingo's Fred Temple being this DJ playing all these tunes. It fits so perfectly into the narrative, and every single needle drop feels just so perfect in its execution, and I really can't compliment the soundtrack choices in this film enough. And I just think that this is just, it moves very, very well. It's always entertaining, it's always engaging, and I will say some of the filmmaking is definitely not up to par with some of Gus Van Sant's best work, but I think the thing that really keeps this movie alive and kinetic and fresh is the editing here, and the way that they'll, like, you know, utilize these archive photos, or they'll use freeze frames, you know, captured in an archival way like it's a photo taken right out of the 70s. It's a really, really nice touch that keeps this movie stylized in a way that maybe the filmmaking doesn't quite get it to, but yet again, it does feel like there is a vision here from Gus Van Sant, and I really was probably, I'd say, enthralled by a lot of this movie. Now, I will say, of course, this owes a lot to Sidney Lumet. There's no denying that. Of course, you think of Dog Day Afternoon, another movie starring Pacino, and maybe it is a bit unfair to compare this to those ones, but I do think that by the end of this movie, it does feel a little anticlimactic, but don't get me wrong, the ending is most certainly surprising, and I don't know if the structure, how it was presented, was either the direction or the script. I can't really make up my mind on that. Maybe a bit of both. But yet again, this is something I could definitely rewatch and maybe appreciate even more, because I really think that Austin especially, he definitely is a star on the rise in the world of screenwriting and hopefully directing. I know he's got some things that he's preparing, and yeah, I'd love to see where it takes him. And this whole movie went through so many interesting facets too. I believe it was originally going to be done with Werner Herzog, so the fact that it came around back to Gus Van Sant like Austin wanted originally was really, really great to hear that kind of came true for him, and that Gus Van Sant has another really, really good movie under his belt, because it's been some time since that has happened, and I'm glad to see him back. I hope that he continues to pick more scripts like this one, or, you know, write something himself. Who knows? I'm just glad to see the comeback nonetheless, and I really do think whenever this comes out, I believe it's going limited later in the year, definitely go check this out, because you're going to have a good time with it regardless. It's going to keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you engaged all the way through, and I'm going to give Dead Man's Wire a very strong 8 out of 10. Really can't recommend this one enough, and definitely just for everything that I said, and especially Skarsgård, please go check this out. And yeah, let me know what you thought about Dead Man's Wire, if you saw it at one of the festivals, and if you got the chance to see it in theaters and are checking this out, you know, way down the line. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so much more. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Now, I can't really guarantee what my next movie review is going to be, because this is going to be a very, very, very busy time. But I do plan on getting to a lot of things like Roofman. It Was Just an Accident. That review is definitely coming up. Frankenstein, so much on the horizon, and I'd love for you all to tune back in and you know, listen to what I have to say, I guess. You don't have to, but I always appreciate the support and so much more. So thank you guys for tuning into this review, and I'll talk to you very soon.